Good afternoon, and I welcome you, students. We will be beginning our sessions after few warm-up exercises and breathing techniques to relax our body and relax our mind. Sit comfortably on the chair. Are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Relax your body. Relax your body. Relax your body. There are some obstructions at different parts of the body. Some obstructions, we have to remove them. We have to remove them. All right. So ankle rotation, ankle rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Two hands. Two hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right. Neck rotation. Right, left. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Down, up, up, down, 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 up, up. 3 times clockwise. Half inhale, half exhale. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 times anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Remove any stiffness. Any stiffness is there in any part of the body. Ankle rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have your 2 feet. You will give ankles to the ankles. Give both the ankles. Give clockwise rotation 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anti-clockwise rotation 5 times to the ankles of the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So there should be no stiffness or any stress on any part of the body before we begin our session, students. That is the objective. That is the objective. All right. Now, what we can do, we will close our eyes. Close our eyes. Then what will we do? We'll inhale from the nostrils. Inhale from the nostrils. I will close my 2 ears. You can see these fingers. And when I will exhale, there will be a honeybee sound. Just I will give one demonstration, then we will begin. This is called Brahmari. This is important. This is good because it will give us good relaxation. I will give a demonstration what I am doing. These 2 fingers I am putting inside the ears. I will inhale deeply from the nose. By this way, I exhaled, mouth was closed, but I was exhaling the honeybee zoo sound. Zoo sound. Do you understand? Tell me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, we will do 5 rounds of this. This is very good and relaxing. Very good and relaxing. The relaxation of mind is very essential whenever we do our studies. We must relax our mind. That is very important. Relax. All right, close your eyes and get ready. When I will say 1, 2, 3, we will start. Take the position, students. 1, 2, 3. Second round, inhale deeply. third round. Fourth round. Last round, students. Sit comfortably, normal breathing. Experience the vibrations inside the body. Bring your awareness to the surroundings, the sound of the fan, the sound in the room coming from outside or traffic or anything. Experience it. Become aware of your body and rub your two palms as heat and healing energy is produced. Gentle massage your eyes and your face. Neck, head, forehead, hold your hands and hold prayer to the God and prayer to the universe. We thank you, God, for the beautiful life we have, and we are working hard in order to get success in our life. Now you can open your eyes slowly with smiles. Okay. Are you back?
Yes, sir.
Are you relaxed?
Yes, sir.
All right. We have relaxed our mind. We have opened our joints of the body. There is no stress anywhere. Now we are ready and we have energy. We have energy. We will be able to focus and concentrate on the topic which we are studying. Focus and concentration is the most important part, students. We must learn. Everything is science. Science means we must learn it, and focus, pay attention, and we will start learning it. There's nothing to mug. Let us not mug the things. It will not help us. Mugging is not our objective. Our objective is to learn. What we are doing, learning, and science. All right. What we have been telling you, how do we separate different mixtures in the chapter of is matter pure around us? Can you give me three important methods which we have discussed till now for the separation of mixtures? What are the
Yes,
three?
sir.
Okay, give me.
Sir, centrifugation, chromatography, distillation.
Now you can tell me what is centrifugation? What is
The
the
process of separating solute from solvent.
solute from solvent in centrifugation? We didn't do that in centrifugation. What we did in centrifugation, the densities of the two components were different. As you churned churned it very strongly, what happens? Centrifuge, there is a centrifuge machine also. As you obtained cream from the milk, both were liquids. Liquid fat was separated from the liquid which is there in the milk. So buttermilk and what you got? Cream. So the principle of everything should be learned, student. That's what we say. And what other method? Distillation. What is the basis of distillation? What is the principle of distillation, students? Such questions will be asked to you in the paper. What is the principle of distillation? When the two liquids can be distilled?
When their boiling points, difference between boiling points are more than 25 degrees Celsius.
They are miscible liquids like acetone and water. Boiling point difference is more than 25 degree centigrade. Water, the boiling point is 100 degree, and acetone, for example, around 56 or something. So there is a big difference in the boiling points. The two can be separated because of the difference in boiling point. It involves evaporation and condensation. You have seen the apparatus also for that. So, I mean, what we are trying, what is the principle of chromatography? What we are doing in chromatography?
What we do in chromatography, students?
The
We have
process of separation of
uh-huh.
from components of a mixture.
All right, because the adsorption of different components is different on a stationary phase, which we used here as a chromatographic paper, and what we found that different colors were obtained from the black ink depending on how many components are present. Now here is another way of method for the which is used for the purification of solid. Basically, this method is used for the purification of solid. What I am talking is, student, purification. What I am talking, purification of solids. What happens, students? Large number of compounds which we prepare or we get are impure. What we are dealing is there are impure compounds. What we have, impure compounds. Compounds are impure means there are a lot of impurities which are present in the compound. If a lot of impurities are present in the compound, how will we separate them? How will we separate them? How will we purify the solid? And earlier you have seen one method. You, depending on the nature, you have also used different methods which we have told you, like evaporation for separation of salt from water. But when there are impurities, what is the best method? What is the best method? What we will do, you have seen here, we are giving you another important method. What I'm talking is crystallization. Crystallization method, students. What is crystallization, students? Crystals. You have seen solid crystals separating out. What will happen? How and why? What happens? If I have impure solid, I dissolve it in a solvent. I dissolve it in a solvent. Minimum amount of solvent. What will happen? The solvent, it dissolves. The solid substance is dissolved in the solvent. Impurities are not soluble. Impurities are not soluble. Then what I can do? I can filter it. Now the filtrate will contain the solid dissolved in the solvent. Impurities are filtered out. What I will do? I will heat this liquid. When I will heat, what happens? Some liquid, some solvent will evaporate. And then I will cool this. Then I will cool this liquid. What will happen when I start cooling this liquid? What will happen when I start cooling this liquid slowly and slowly? You will find the solid start separating from this. The solid substance will start separating from this. And when solid will start separating, what will happen? Crystals will be formed. And those will be pure solid. Impurities will be left behind. So this is an important method. The crystallization method is used to purify solids. For example, if you have salt in water, you know sea water. When I talk of sea water, the sea water has got salt dissolved in it. The water obtained from sea has a lot of salt. Is it true or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir. It's true.
So, but there are a lot of impurities in it. So the process of crystallization is used to separate pure salt from it. It is, crystallization is a technique better than evaporation. Better than evaporation. Because if you will evaporate the water, then impurities will remain in the salt. You have salt plus impurities. Salt plus impurities plus water. Okay? If I evaporate, what will happen? Water will evaporate. But these two will remain behind. So then impurities are still present. In this, what I will do? I will filter it. Impurities are filtered out. And then you have salt and water. I will heat it. And then I start cooling it. When I will cool it, the salt which separates out is pure. There will be some more impurities also that will remain behind in the solvent which we have. So we can say that this crystal for purification of solids, students, crystallization is better than evaporation. is better than, I'm saying is better than evaporation. Better than evaporation. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which is better, for crystallization or evaporation? Crystallization
Crystallization.
better. But there is a problem. When you solid is dissolved in water, you heat to remove some solvent from it. It is possible on heating the solid may decompose, or some solid may get charred. For example, if sugar is there, if I will heat the sugar, what will happen? It will become black. You will see as I heat the sugar, it has carbon, water will be lost from sugar, it will become black. So it will become charred. Then I cannot use this method. Or some impurities may remain dissolved in the solution even after filtration. On evaporation, these contaminate the solid. Okay. So these are some of the points, students, which we have to take into account when we do different methods of the separation. So purification of solid is very important. We want pure samples, pure solids. What I'm saying, it is the fundamental procedure each chemist must master to become proficient in the laboratory. Crystallization is based on the principles of solubility. Principles of solubility. Compounds or solutes tend to be more soluble in hot liquids. In hot liquids than they are in cold liquids. You see that you have a hot solvent. Then you have cold solvent. Hot solvent and cold solvent. What happens, student? The solutes, they are more soluble in hot solvent than in cold solvent. What will happen if I have a saturated hot solution? What is a saturated hot solution, student? I told you what is a saturated solution. When no more substance can be dissolved in a given amount of solvent, that solution is saturated. You heat it, what will happen? It will become hot. So the solubility increases in hot solution. The solid is more soluble in the hot solution. And when I will cool it, then what I do? I cool the saturated hot solution. Then what will happen, students? Cool the saturated hot solution. Sometimes we put ice below to cool it, or sometimes in a normal, we leave the hot solution normally, cover it by a filter paper. Slowly and slowly you will see what happens. Crystals of pure compound will be formed. Cool this, you will get crystals of pure compound will be formed, and impurities will not come in these crystals, which will be pure, which crystals are growing in the solvent which was hot. When it is cold, when it is cooled, and therefore the crystals can be separated from the dissolved impurities by the filtration. The solution, solvent, crystals, solid particles are coming out, and the impurities are dissolved in the solvent. So you will filter it. Then what will you do? You will filter it. Okay? And impurities will be gone in the, you can filter, and what will happen? Impurities will go with the filtrate. So solid, pure solid crystal will separate out, and dissolved impurities. What I'm saying, there are dissolved impurities, students, impurities in the solution. And this is a solid which will be, can be filtered and separated. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, note down every point. Every point is important. The solutes are more soluble in hot liquid than in cold liquid. That property we can use. When the solute is hot, the solute is dissolved in it. When I start cooling it, what will happen? The solubility will decrease, and solid crystals will start separating out. This is the basis of separation of salt, pure salt from the seawater also. There is an activity, students. Let us see an activity. Let us see an experiment that I have given you impure copper sulfate. We have to make pure copper sulfate. How can I do it? What method I can use? What method?
Crystallization.
Crystallization. This question was asked in the paper that you are impure copper. You have been provided with impure copper sulfate. Obtain pure copper sulfate. You are saying you will use crystallization method. What I will do? Take about 5 gram of impure sample of copper sulfate in the china dish. Dissolve it in minimum amount of water. Dissolve it in minimum amount of water. That it means it will become a saturated solution. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Then heat and evaporate water from copper sulfate so as to get a saturated solution. Minimum, there may be some more water still, then you are heating it. When you heat, this will become a hot solution. So that hot saturated solution is formed. You have hot saturated solution, students. The solubility increases with increase in temperature. That's what we are saying for the solute. Then you cover the solution with a filter paper and leave it undisturbed at room temperature to cool slowly. So for example, what I did, student, what you had? A china dish. Let me take a china dish. You had a china dish, students, which this is some dish which can be heated at high temperatures. And inside this, what do you have? Hot saturated solution. If you will cool it, what will happen? Cover the solution with a filter paper. If I cover it with the filter paper, supposing this is a filter paper, take at room temperature to cool it slowly. If it is slowly cooling, what will we obtain? Crystals of copper sulfate in the china dish. You will get what you will get, student? Crystals of copper sulfate. On cooling, you will get crystals of copper sulfate. This process is called crystallization. What is this activity showing? Example of crystallization, students. So you will get pure solid crystals, then you can easily filter and separate the two. ठीक है? Can do it. All right. Some questions on this. What do you observed in china dish? What will you observe in the china dish, students, in this activity?
Crystals of copper sulfate.
You will see crystals of pure copper sulfate. Crystals of pure copper sulfate. Do the crystals look alike? What will be the crystal? They will be alike or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, they are crystals of the same substance, so they will be alike. All right. Next, how will you separate crystals from the liquid in a china dish? What will you do to separate the two?
Evaporation.
Huh? You can filter it. What is the problem now? Filter. When you will filter, the copper sulfate is solid. It will come separate from the impurities are soluble in the liquid, then they will be removed. So we can filter it and then separation will take place. What you get from this pure crystals of copper sulfate are obtained by this process. Okay? But you are getting pure crystals of copper sulfate are obtained. All right, students, move next. What are the application of crystallization? Purification of salt we get from seawater. Purification of salt, you know, the seawater contains salt, but then there are a lot of impurities we can. Separation of crystals of alum from impure samples. Alum crystals are obtained, alum fatkari. These are some of the application. What is the application of crystallization in food industry? Food industry is also using crystallization. Example, it is used in the manufacture of other sugars such as glucose and lactose, in the manufacture of food additives such as salt, and in the processing of foodstuffs such as ice creams. See, there are some ice cream you are eating. This is also prepared by the process of crystallization in the food industry. Glucose they are obtaining by crystallization, lactose, and many food additives such as salt they are obtained. Common salt which you are eating is obtained by the crystallization process. So note down all these applications and examples. Applications and examples are asked repeatedly in the paper, therefore we try to learn them. They are very good. Note it down, students. All right. Students, important thing to note is that at your homes you are getting a water supply. Are you getting water supply? You are having drinking water? Tell me. Drinking water is coming to your home?
Yes.
What is they are supplying? Delhi Jal Board is supplying the drinking water. So how this pure impure water is made pure and supplied to your homes? Okay? There is a diagram which is given in the book, students. A diagram has been provided in the book which shows that how the water system works actually. What are the different processes or methods which are used to give you the pure water? Everything you know is a mixture and impurities are present. So we have to remove these impurities before the water comes to your home. If water will have impurities, then you cannot drink it. You know about it. It will be causing sickness. So water work system, but it uses methods of sedimentation, loading, filtration, chlorination to remove impurities from the water. Therefore, the water has impurities, but before it comes to your home, what processes we are doing? Sedimentation, loading, filtration, and chlorination. We'll see what it means, students. Here is a flow diagram. What is this first one?
Reservoir.
Reservoir. This has impure water, water with impurities. Then it is going to the sedimentation tank. What is the meaning of sedimentation, students? We will explain just now. Heavier particles are there, supposing they will settle down. Sedimentation. To allow solids to settle, if there are solid particles larger in size, what will happen? They will settle down. Then loading tank is there. Whatever sedimentation, this liquid is sent to the loading tank. There are suspended impurities in this. suspended impurities. A third one, you see filtration tank. What it has? Filter means it will filter the water from other particles. For example, water, fine sand, gravel, coarse gravel, they will settle down. They will all settle down. And what will happen? The water will flow. And then to this water, chlorination is being done. What is the function of chlorination? Chlorine water you are adding, what it will do? What the
So
chlorination does?
to kill harmful microbes.
Yes, whatever bacteria are there or other microorganisms are there, it will kill. Then the water is coming to your home, which you are using. Okay, let us see. Okay. Question is like this. Write down the processes involved to get supply of drinking water to your home from the waterworks and discuss it. ठीक है? The diagram is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how we explain, student? First is the sedimentation tank. The water from river or lake is first pass through the sedimentation tank. This water from the river or lake is containing large impurities. It is not pure. So the water is allowed to stand for some time. During this time, many suspended solids settle down at the bottom of the tank. What will happen? I pass the water in the sedimentation tank. The heavier particles will settle down. Okay? There are many particles, they will settle down. What will be the next one? Loading tank. What is the second thing? Loading tank. What is loading tank? From sedimentation tank, water is sent to the loading tank. In the loading tank, some alum or fitkery is added. What will alum or fitkery do? There are some colloidal particles of clay present in water. They are negatively charged and they do not settle down. Certain particles settle down in the sedimentation tank. There were certain particles which were colloidal, means the size was smaller than those particles. They did not settle, but they had charges. The colloidal particles of clay present in water, so they do not settle in the sedimentation tank. When alum is added, these negatively charged particles get neutralized by positively charged aluminum ions present in the alum. In this way, suspended clay particles get loaded with aluminum ions, become heavy and settle down at the bottom of the tank. Important. Alum has got aluminum ions. It will coagulate. It will precipitate the suspended particles. It will combine with the suspended particles and they will become heavy and they will settle down. Note down, important student, question can be asked. What is a loading tank? How it works? What do you use in the loading tank, student? Alum or fitkery. What it does? It will remove the impurities by the process of precipitation or coagulation. And then they will settle down. This is called the loading tank. Note down, loading tank, students. Loading tank. Question can be asked, student, in the paper. ठीक है? Noted everything?
Yes, sir.
After this, student, what will happen? Bigger particles were removed, then colloidal particles of clay were removed by the process which we are saying, second number process which we have shown. Loading by using alum or fitkery. Then last step here again is the filtration. After removal of insoluble solids and other suspended impurity, water is passed through the filtration tank. Filtration tank has 3 layers. At the bottom is placed the coarse gravel, above it fine gravel, and on the top is placed a thick layer of fine sand. These layers of sand and gravel act as filters. Impure water is introduced at the bottom. As water rises above, all impurities present in water are retained and pure water leaves the tank from the tank top. What will happen? Then you have seen this picture, filtration tank. You can see filtration tank, water is coming. What are the, there is a gravel, porous gravel, fine sand, and the water is passing through these from here, and it will go to this final tank where we will add chlorine water or chlorination to kill the bacteria. Sedimentation tank, loading tank, and then third filtration tank. Filtration tank, note down. Note down. So what will happen? Impurities will be retained in the filtration tank. See how many, what type of impurities are there and how many tanks we are using for the removal of impurities. Fourth, chlorination tank. Water obtained from filtration tank is introduced to the chlorination tank where it is treated with bleaching powder or some other germicides to kill the bacteria. So it will go to the chlorination tank and then you treat it with bleaching powder it to kill the bleaching powder. What bleaching powder will give you? What will bleaching powder do?
Kill bacteria.
It will provide chlorination. It will do the chlorination. Bleaching powder is a source of chlorine. So chlorine is a germicide. It can kill the bacteria. What will happen? Chlorine will kill the bacteria. It acts as a germicide. Note down everything, student. Important. So the water supply system at home can be explained. How many processes, how many tanks we have shown? How many tanks did I show you?
4.
4. First, what is the first one?
Sedimentation tank.
Second?
Loading tank.
Third?
Filtration tank.
Fourth?
Chlorination.
All right. Such questions will be asked to you in the paper. They will ask you such question in the exam. Okay. Okay. There are some questions coming for us students. How will you separate a mixture containing kerosene and petrol? Kerosene and petrol, student. Tell me what is the answer?
By process of distillation.
By
Distillation.
distillation. Difference is more than 25 degrees centigrade. Boiling point difference. More than 25 degrees Celsius. And the two are miscible. That means they dissolve in one another. So what we do, student? Distillation is used. All right. Name the technique to separate butter from curd. How will you separate butter from curd?
Centrifugation.
Centrifugation. Salt from seawater.
Crystallization.
Camphor from the salt.
Sublimation.
Sublimation. Camphor sublimes. What type of mixtures are separated by the technique of crystallization? What type of mixtures? What type of mixture, students? Solids which have many impurities, what will we do? Those solids which have many impurities. They can be separated by crystallization. So those solids which have many type of impurities, we will use the method of the crystallization to separate them. Note down everything, students. Questions will be asked to you in the paper. We have to answer. There are two type of changes which we observe in our everyday life. One is called a physical change. What is happening in a physical change, students? No new substance is formed. Okay? There could be change in color, there could be change in shape, there could be change in solubility. Some physical property, physical change is there. So first one I'm saying physical change. Physical change occurs when objects or substances undergo a change that does not change their composition. If you have water, you can cool the water into ice. Tell me yes or no.
Yes, sir.
If you heat the ice, what happens? It becomes water. If you heat the water, it becomes steam. But the composition remains the same. Still, there is a H2O which is present in all this. What is that? H2O. This is a physical change. Take an iron rod and you bend it. What has happened? The chemical composition has not changed. This is a physical change. You take a paper and break into pieces. What has happened? No new substance has been formed. These are examples of the physical changes. There could be change in the shape, size, color, or solubility, but no chemical reaction has taken place. No new substance has been formed. Chemical composition will remain the same. That process is called physical change. Note down, physical change involves change in physical properties such as melting, transition to gas, change of strength, change of durability, changes to crystal form, textures, change shape, size, color, volume, density. No new substances formed. ठीक है? Note down, student. You can watch our video in the YouTube on physical change. We have given it in very good detail. Physical change. What is physical change, students? So what we are saying in the physical change, what is happening? The color, hardness, rigidity, fluidity, density, melting point, boiling points are some of the physical properties. They will change. The physical properties. What are physical properties, students? What are physical properties we're talking of? Color, melting point, melting point of a substance, boiling point, boiling point, rigidity, hardness, fluidity, hardness, rigidity, fluidity. They are all examples of physical properties. Some of the examples they will ask you in the paper, they will give you, tell us whether it's a physical change or a chemical change. Tell me, crushing of a can, is it physical or chemical change?
Physical change.
You have a can, you crush it. You have seen on the roads many cans crushed. Many dustbins are crushed. You have seen it. What is that? Is it new? Something new has been formed? It is the same. Chemical composition changed? No, can is still can. Physical. Melting of an ice cube, boiling of water, what it is? What happens when you water the boil? Boil the water. It is liquid. It is going to water gas, but it is still water. H2O. H2O is the formula of water. If I take sand and mix it with water, what has happened? Any new substance formed? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
No new substance formed. So what type of change is this?
Physical change.
This is a glass, student. If it breaks, what type of change is this?
Physical change.
But I can't put the pieces to get back the glass. That you know. Still, it is a physical change. So dissolve sugar in water, what it is? Dissolve sugar in water, is it physical change or
Yes.
chemical change? What is it?
Physical change.
Why? Why it is a physical change?
Oh,
Not
no,
a-
sir.
Only sugar still is sugar. There is no change in the composition of the sugar. It has got only dissolved in water. And if you remove the water by evaporation or some process, you may get back. Shredding paper, ये पेपर को मैंने ऐसे खींच के ऐसे मरोड़ दिया, ये क्या हुआ? फिजिकल चेंज. आप लकड़ी काटते हैं, चॉपिंग ऑफ द वुड, ये सब क्या है? Note down. These are all examples of physical changes. Physical changes. No change is there in the composition of the molecular level. At the molecular level, students. Okay. What is a chemical change? You take your gas, you are burning, you are cooking gas. What is happening? Like, you are getting a flame from a gas. Combustion of the gas, student. It is a chemical change. New substances are being formed. You are eating the food. What happens to the food inside the body? Tell me, what happens to the food inside the body? The food is getting digested. What is that process? Metabolism. So chemical reaction is taking place inside the body and chemical change is taking place. New substances are being formed. Such changes are called chemical change. When one chemical substance is transformed into one or more different substances, as a rusting of iron. You have seen iron getting rusted, students? Okay? What happens? You get a reddish brown type of substance which is oxidized form of the iron. Iron oxide is formed. So chemical change has taken place. A chemical change is different from physical change, which does not rearrange atoms or molecules and produces a completely new substance. So it is not a rearrangement of atom molecules, but new substances are being formed in a chemical change. Examples: burning of wood, physical or chemical?
Chemical.
Breaking of the wood. If I cut the wood, that what is that?
Physical.
Physical. But burning of the wood, you will get smoke. Different. Souring of milk, mixing of acid and base, digestion of food, cooking of an egg, heating sugar to form caramel, baking a cake, rusting of iron. These are all chemical changes. So chemical changes result in different substances. They often cannot be undone. Some chemical changes can be reversed, but other chemical changes cannot be. Chemical changes cannot be reversed, only few, where again by doing reactions, not otherwise. So we can say, students, a chemical change occurs whenever matter changes into entirely different substances, and then they will form new compounds with different properties. Burning is an example of chemical change. Signs of chemical change include release of bubbles, a change of color, production, odor, release of heat, light, and production of loud sounds. All this can happen when you burn anything. You see, you get light and you get heat energy, and new substances are being formed. If does burning of a candle both physical and chemical take place? Can you distinguish this? Tell me, what is your answer, student, here? Burning of a candle. What happens if you have a candle? The candle is burnt. Student, what is happening? This is a wax, which is paraffin. Here you see the flame and you see some gas coming out. You see the gas, smoke. Smoke you have seen. That is a This paraffin wax is converted into carbon dioxide, water, and light and heat energy. That is a chemical change. But after some time, you will see certain wax which melted. It is cutting. After this, what will you see? Wax like this wax left behind. What is that? Those which was melted by heating, it has come back. So this is a physical change, whereas this gases, CO2, and all that which are formed, this is a chemical change. So when you will burn a candle, you will see both physical as well as chemical change takes place. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
All right, students, this ends the second part of it. What type of separations can be done from impure solid substances, which can be done by crystallization, like copper sulfate and salt from the seawater. Then we have told you how the water supply system works. What are the different methods which are used to get pure water to your homes, and then what is the difference between physical change and chemical changes. Okay, then we will see you in the next class, students. Keep on forwarding our videos to your friends, ask them to subscribe the channel, and you can put a button and you will get a bell. Whenever new video will come, you can watch them at your convenience, and any difficulty or other, all questions will be solved by us in our videos, lectures, and in great detail, more than what is available in the NCERT book. So be sure that you listen to our videos very carefully. They will be solving some important questions, and also some quiz contest will be there, which will all be uploaded in the YouTube. Okay, then I will see you in the next class. Okay, bye bye, students.
Thank you, sir.